Hi, this is Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com, and this is a Forex technical analysis tutorial. We're looking at multiple time frames and trading opportunities. One of the things I really want to concentrate in is looking at major support and resistance zones, how they form and how we put them on our chart. Very, very important for entries, really, and also for managing trades. So on the 4-hour time frame here on Euro Japanese yen, I've got our auto harmonic pattern running as well. It's software that basically automatically looks for harmonic patterns and then prints them on the chart. But then we have these automated completion zones. You see this bat pattern here didn't complete. Okay, but a good thing here was this A pivot. That allowed us then to look left to then see rejections into this bottom end. So this is starting to form resistance. Okay, it's not there yet, and you'll see later on, because I've got to play this forward in time, we've got another ellipse in here which actually then helps us define the top of that support and resistance zone. So you know that then becomes a real strong support and resistance zone on our chart, and allows us to help with entries, trade management and that sort of thing. So auto harmonic pattern here, this is a trading view version. It's available for lots of other different platforms on the links below in the description here. These little percentage lines here, these are fib lines for targets. And what we're looking for now is we're going to play this forward. We've already defined really the bottom edge of this zone here as time moves on. And again, we're not looking for, for me, I look for the bigger moves with Forex, although currency futures for me, I really look for those bigger moves. Day trading Forex or currency futures is something I don't do on a day-to-day basis. I'm looking for the bigger moves. So 2 or 3 a month will do me, because they're big moves and the high probability. So we've got a Gartley pattern forming here. It's coloured in red, so there's potential a resulting short trade coming on here. Now we have the automated completion zone. The top end of it is just here, and the bottom end of it just in our support and resistance zone there. So what we're looking for is this D pivot, and again, this is live. This actually works live, auto harmonics. So as we play this forward, you'll see the D pivot adjusts, and what we're looking for when we're looking for this is for the D pivot to complete into the automated completion zone there. So the D pivot now is in the automated completion zone. So in theory, what we're looking for, if this completes, it forms the top end of our support and resistance zone. We've got an A pivot from a bat, we've got a D pivot from a Gartley, we've got this previous test. We've got a really strong support resistance zone here that's going to help us trade on any time frame. So now let's just play this forward a little bit more. We start to move down. Did reject that candle on the 4-hour, but we started to move away from this D pivot. So we've got to start thinking about an entry for this. Now for me, I've got to make sure I clear this C pivot here. Okay. I'm always conservative with my entries because this is a longer term time frame. It's a 4-hour time frame, but I also look at a multiple time frame strategy. So I look for the expat algo, which is actually designed around my trading brain for a signal short on a smaller time frame, like the hour or the 2-hourly time frame. So let's just play this forward a little bit more, and then we'll move time frames. So we see we're confirming we're moving away from this D pivot now. Got a bullish candle there, fails and comes back down again. So now we're actually heading out of this support and resistance zone. So we've clearly defined this now. Top end of the support and resistance zone here, the bottom end on those previous pivots that we talk about. Now we're looking for that entry. We're looking for a breakthrough of this C pivot here. So now this is when I switch. This is my normal, I've got 4-hour with Elliott wave here, I've got 3-minute here, I've got 2-hour. This is what we're looking for the 2-hour. So this, if you remember, is that line for our C pivot, and we need to enter a short below there. This is that ellipse that forms the top end of there on that support and resistance zone. And lo and behold, we get a 6-star sell signal. So a 6-star is the highest probability. We have 3, 4, 5, 6-star signals. A 6-star is like a 6-star hotel, so it is the cream of the crop. And we get that signal candle actually breaking this C pivot. It does pull back up, above there to close, but we now have an entry. We have an entry a few pips below this signal candle, which is below this C pivot. This is the trade that we need. We've been patient, we've waited, we've seen those harmonic patterns, we've formed that support and resistance zone. The harmonic pattern on the 4 hours complete in the automated completion zone. We need to go down a time frame now and look for some confirmation from a different type of strategy. And this is the 6-star expert sell signal here, and we go short, and look what happens here. Huge move down, massive move down, and then we start to look to manage this trade, and we use the manager. You see the red ribbon here? That is the manager. So we can set this. At the moment it's on day trading moderate. Now, when we have a breakout such as this here, we get these 2 big candles, we can adjust that to more of an aggressive state. What happens there is if we go parabolic, we have the option with the manager, and again, the link's down below for Expert Algo, the manager, Auto Harmonics. If that goes parabolic, I need to be aggressive when I'm managing that trade because it could bounce up just as quickly. So I change that manager to day trading aggressive, and we wait then for the ribbon to turn green. This is 4 candles in advance. Okay, so we're back here when we take out the profit. Good initial trade, and that's a big trade. That's a 2-hour time frame. That's down from 136,104 down to where we took the profit here, 134,092. That's a lot of ticks. We can measure that. A lot of pips, I should say. Okay, that's a huge move. Okay, we are 208.7. You can see that there. So really strong move. So then we need to look for continuations for other trades. So we've already got this support and resistance zone defined, which is strong. Then keeping an eye on our multiple time frames, we see another trading opportunity here on a 6-star buy, but we don't want to go long into this resistance. But then we get a 6-star sell here. And this is where our bias depth heat map comes in. It stops you getting in trades that aren't going to work. The bias depth heat map looks up 6 different time frames. So if we've got short signals here, all 6 of our time frames should be red to confirm that trade. They're not. 4 are red, 1 is yellow, 1 is green. Yellow is neutral. So we ignore this short signal here. We then get a 5 and a 6-star buy signal. 6-star and the 5-star, all 6 time frames are green. This is the bias depth heat map, giving that's confirmation. It can be used for any strategy. Now we want to go long here, but we don't want to go long into resistance. So this sensibly should be our entry. Now traders are different. A lot of traders want to make sure, that are conservative, want to make sure we're breaking through this resistance before we go. We've got some great signals here. The bias depth heat map's backing us up, but we've got to look left and remind ourselves that this is big resistance. It's happened on a lot of occasion. So even though we have buy signals here, we had buy signals at this point here, but it didn't push through. Okay, and remember, we only went for this short signal purely because when we go back to the 4 hour, that's where we had that harmonic pattern to give us that extra line of confidence that we are going to go short here. Let's go back to the 2 hour. So our entry for this is quite conservative, but look where our manager is. The ribbon is already green going through here. So we can say, right, we've got the signal, we've got the confirmation, even the confirmation coming through this resistance zone, all 6 time frames are bullish. they're all green. Let's go long, breaking out of this resistance zone, which has acted as resistance for so long before. And then we manage the trade all the way up until the ribbon turns red. So this time, 500 pips. So we're 800 pips, sorry, now in the space of 2 weeks, okay? And that's what we should be looking for. Now we pull back down, no signal, no trade. We get a 6-star sell signal at this point, but guess what? We don't short into support. This is where we're coming down here to actually think, okay, the buyer steps heat map isn't all red, plus we don't short into this previous support and resistance zone that we've drawn on our chart that's been backed up. Okay, so it finds support here. What's happening on the 4-hour time frame at that point? Let's go and have a look. Let's play it forward. Okay, so that's the short that we had there. We're moving up. A little bit more time. Patience is a key when trading. Remember now we took this long trade on the 2-hour on the XBRAD algo, and at this point within a couple of weeks we've made 800 pips. Simple strategy using a couple of simple what are simple graphically. All the hard work gets done behind the scenes with the XBRAD algo and the auto harmonic. So let's just keep playing this forward because something very interesting happens here. Boom. All of a sudden now live you will see this bat pattern form. Okay, not only does it form, it completes in the automated completion zone, and the automated completion zone is in the previous support and resistance zone that we have actually drawn in previous to this. Okay, so all of this confluence means actually we can trade this reasonably aggressive coming out of this D pivot. Why? Couple of reasons. You should recognize this candlestick pattern on a 4-hour. This has rejected those lows. It's a hammerhead. Okay, then the next candle we've got the continuation, a green candle, pretty full body, higher high, higher low. So it really is, we've got the big down candle, the next candle comes down, it comes to the lows, it rejects those lows massively here, then we get the follow throughs. Now we're looking for the entry above this candle, okay? So we're not waiting for a signal on the lower time frame. Why? Because we've already done the work, and we should always keep our charts up to date with those support and resistance zones. We're very, very happy that the behavior of Euro-Japanese yen around this support and resistance zone is extremely strong. So all the technical traders are doing this work around the world, especially institutional traders. They've seen the bottom end of this support zone really work well. They've seen a Gartley pattern form complete and form the top end of there. We've had a great short trade. Then we've had a great long trade breaking out of this support and resistance zone, and we've traded it all the way up. And then we're being patient, and lo and behold, we get another harmonic pattern form, and the D pivot completes in the automated completion zone and in our support and resistance zone. This is stars are all aligned type of thing. So let's play this forward now. So this is our entry. Remember, with the auto harmonic, we've got targets. Okay, we got the target 1. We're not even going to be in that. Okay, this is target 2. Target 3 is at the C pivot. Again, we're being more aggressive with this entry, unlike the short, where we use the XBRAD algo to give us that extra and below the C pivot, because we've got more things going for us on this. Let's play this forward. So now we're hitting the C pivot. You see how it's trying to reject through there at the moment. And then finally, finally we get through. So one of the things that we do with this is we're looking at where to place our stops. Okay, so initial stop is just below the B pivot. Let's color that in red. So we've got an option here. So now we've got the 618, the hundreds, the 127s, and those sort of things. So the thing to do, one of the things for me straight away is I'm always 2 targets ahead. Once I break that two targets, so this will be the first one past our entry. That's our second one. Once we close up above there, initially I want to go risk free. Okay. Once we start to head towards the next sort of level, let's be sensible here. Let's put it at that first target level. So now we're locking in some profit. Okay, let's play this forward. So we reject at the 127 and then push up. Okay, so we've pushed through here. Remember, this A pivot is going to be big resistance here. So we've got to be sensible in here. We want to lock in some more pips. Over the last month now, because we've had to let this play a little longer for the next trade, we've earned 800 pips from this particular strategy that we're using, combining auto harmonics, good sensible technical analysis, putting those support and resistance zones in, and then using the manager to manage the trades with the expert algo signals on those lower time frames. But now we need to lock in some more profits. For me, again, now we're getting through the 127. I start to be more aggressive. I want to go 1 target behind on that trailing stop, because this could fail any time up here. So I want to be locking in, and what we're locking in here, pips wise, we're locking in a couple hundred pips. Okay, so that will make it 1,000 pips in a month. So let's go play this forward. Right, now we're at the 161. Okay, let's be more aggressive. Let's lock in at this point. Okay, because we're going to run out of room soon, because it's going to be very close to testing this A pivot, and we need to be very aggressive with this. So we've got that candle close. We've got now locked in around about 300. So we're 1,100 pips now for a month, which is very, very good. So now we're at this 1618. Now, at this stage, we got to see if it can push through. Let's leave our trailing stop, locking in profit here. Give it a little room, see if it can push through this A pivot. And this is where we are right now. Just taking the trailing stop out. Okay. So hopefully this has made sense. Please watch this video over a couple of times to understand. The 4 hours very strong on Forex. Okay, you should be looking at the 4 hour and the daily to try and look at those support and resistance zones. Use the auto harmonic patterns to help you really identify and solidify those support and resistance zones, because the support and resistance zones are your go no go gauge and your confluence gauges and everything else. They're very, very strong. And then look at those smaller time frames on the expert algo to get some more trading opportunities. Lots and lots of trading opportunities with these expert algo. Once this is defined on your chart as well, there's lots of other things you can do. So on the 2 hour, you could be looking at this now. Okay, you got to think about the future. This has formed a double top. Okay, what could happen? We could get an expert algo now on an hourly coming back up, breaking through and going north. If it doesn't and it starts to come back down and we get some weakness in euro Japanese yen and it pushes down through here, we're breaking this pivot. Remember, double tops, we trade below the pivot here. So longer term, we're looking for another harmonic pattern forming or an expert algo signal, but this should be identified on your chart now, and it should stay there for at least another month or so, because this is a very, very relevant support and resistance zone now. I've taken in some of these small pivots here, large pivot here, large pivot here, and this is a really good support and resistance zone. So again, watch this video, check out the links below in the description for the different trading indicators. Again, combined, they make a really strong technical Forex trading strategy, and they will work on lots of other smaller time frames as well. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel because I make these videos every single day.